We have this amazing ability to turn information into urgency simply because we feel pressured to figure everything out right now. But information doesn't always require immediate decisions. Often, it simply requires discernment. Hello, my friends. Come on in. It's always great to spend time with you. If you're a steady listener, welcome back. And if this is your first time joining me, I'm especially glad you found your way here. I'm Lucianne, and here in this space, we intentionally take a pause from the noise and the busyness of our everyday lives, and we come together to have honest conversations about how our faith intersects with our everyday lives and what it looks like to live connected with God from the inside out without pressure or performance. So if you can, pull up a chair, grab your coffee or your tea, and let's ease into today's conversation. Recently, I've noticed something in my own life that I've also seen happen with the women I work closely with. We are pressured by the need to hurry. And that pressure, it's often self-inflicted. Our circumstances may not actually be rushing us, but sometimes something inside of us feels like we need to figure everything out right now. Or if you're like me, figure it out yesterday. And I experienced this most recently. I began noticing some changes in my body. The health regimen that I had been on for a long time was no longer giving me the results it used to. So this raised some concerns for me. When something shifts in your body, it's easy to feel a sense of urgency to know what's happening. So there's doctor appointments and then testing, and don't forget the research. Information was coming at me from different directions. And the more information I gathered, the more it felt like I needed to figure everything out immediately. But something interesting began to happen. The harder I tried to rush my way to answers, the less clarity I had. Rather, I started feeling pulled in so many different directions, and I couldn't make sense of any of it. My mind was racing, my body felt tense, and I even noticed my breathing had changed. And that's when I realized something really important. I needed to slow down because rushing doesn't just affect the way we think. It also affects the way we feel. When I sense that I'm being pressured to hurry, or when the world simply feels like it's moving too fast for me to catch my breath, my body notices it before my mind does. Do you notice this happening with you? Especially lately, with everything happening in the world around us? The politics, war, the unusual weather patterns, the constant commentary and information coming at us from every direction. When my mind starts racing to find solutions, my body immediately begins responding. I can feel my shoulders tighten, my breathing speeds up, and it's in those moments something crucial begins to slip away. My sense of inner peace and calm. And when calm disappears, discernment becomes much harder to access. This is something I often see in my coaching work. When someone feels pressure to figure something out quickly, most of the time, that pressure isn't actually coming from the outside world. It's coming internally. We start believing we need clarity right now. But urgency and discernment, they rarely work well together. And this is why. When our nervous system shifts into urgency, our body moves into reaction mode. And reaction mode prioritizes speed, not wisdom. Now, discernment, on the other hand, requires something totally different. It requires space, listening, and calm. In my own situation, at one point, I realized something really important. Urgency actually wasn't the issue I needed to address. The real question was so much more simpler. What is my next best step? That's all I needed to figure out in the moment. When I stopped trying to solve everything at once and focused only on the next step, I realized this. All the things that were shouting urgent suddenly became easier to sort through. And from that calmer vantage point, I could clearly see that there were only a few things that actually needed my attention at the moment. And once I saw the next step clearly, guess what happened? You probably guessed right. My peace returned. My body felt calm. It wasn't a matter of urgency. It was simply a matter of me prioritizing the one thing that needed to happen next. Now, if you're one of my coaching clients listening right now, you hear me say this all the time. And it's something that I had to remind myself of. Don't make something a problem that isn't a problem. Sometimes we have this amazing ability to turn information into urgency, simply because we feel pressured to figure everything out right now. But information doesn't always require immediate decisions. Often, it simply requires discernment. And discernment doesn't usually reveal the whole plan. Most of the time, discernment simply reveals the next faithful step. And this pattern, it actually shows up in Scripture as well. There's a moment in the life of Jesus when he receives word that his friend Lazarus is sick. The message carried urgency. From a human perspective, the expectation was clear. Come quickly. But Jesus, he didn't rush. He responded according to God's timing, not human urgency. Now here, we have honest conversations. So let's be honest about this. Sometimes urgency, it can feel really loud. But the truth is, discernment, it's rather quiet. So here's something for us all to reflect on this week. Where in your life right now might you be feeling the pressure to hurry? And what if God might actually be inviting you to slow down? And perhaps even a more important question is this: what would happen if instead of trying to solve everything all at once, you simply ask God this question? Show me the next best step. And today, as we close out this conversation, let's keep this in mind. The world may continue to move at a rapid pace, and that pace, as we know it now, may even increase over time. However, the rhythm of discernment operates differently. Discernment honors God's timing, not the world's urgency. And when you and I slow down enough to calm our bodies and listen, clarity shows up and peace follows. And that kind of steadiness, it's something we keep learning together here in this space. And if you like to keep having conversations like this, you're always welcome to join me here each week. We gather in this space to slow things down, to listen beneath the noise, to breathe deeply, and to keep learning how to live from who we truly are. There's also a link in the show notes if you'd like to schedule a conversation with me to explore this work more deeply. For now, take this with you as you go. Discernment doesn't require rushing. It simply points you to the next faithful step. And here, I remind you, you are chosen. You are loved. You are amazing by design.